This GOP rep absolutely destroyed the credibility of the FBI.
Mr. Durham, in reviewing your report, I sincerely wanted to understand the work that you did and decipher the various investigations that we have been discussing. The origins, the history, the backstory, the who's, the why's, the what's, the what ifs, and the how. I desperately wanted to figure out what happened to what was once our flagship law enforcement agencies, the FBI and the DOJ, to determine what went wrong and to evaluate how we can go forward from here. I have listened with great interest, hoping to find some answers to the burning questions of the day. And I have reached a few conclusions that I do not believe are subject to dispute or debate. Now, I truly appreciate your regard for the agency you have dedicated your career to. I am sure that as your investigation progressed, you must have been truly saddened by what you found. What you have exposed, however, is that we are dealing with something so corrupt and so rotten that no amount of face paint, deflection, or whitewashing can fix this. You have been asked lots of questions about predicates, protocols, the Steele dossier, the Australian connection, Mr. Papadopoulos, Mr. Carter, the FISA court, and Crossfire Hurricane, among others. Your responses have been enlightening, but let's get to the brass tacks. None of those people or documents or reports were relevant to the FBI when it identified Donald Trump as public enemy number one. What do I mean? The accuracy and veracity of the Steele dossier was irrelevant to the FBI. The accuracy and veracity of the reports coming from the Australian embassy were irrelevant to the FBI. The fact that the Russian experts in the CIA, FBI, NSA, and other agencies had no evidence of any kind of relationship between Mr. Trump and Putin or Russia was irrelevant to the FBI. And the fact that there was no verifiable evidence, such as testimony, documents, videos, or recordings of Russian collusion, was irrelevant to the FBI. Nothing, and I repeat, nothing that the FBI did was designed to show that Donald J. Trump was a Russian asset. That wasn't the purpose of the entire charade. How do I know this is true? Because they told us so. The very people who cooked this up and the ones who ran this entire operation. Strzok, Lisa Page, Andrew McCabe, Kleinsmith, Steele, the DNC, Perkins Coie. It was never their purpose to prove Russian collusion, and in fact, from the very beginning, they knew that no such thing actually existed. They knew that the entire Russian collusion narrative was fabricated by the Clinton campaign to deflect attention from her mishandling of classified materials and destruction of official emails. But they didn't need to prove Russian collusion. They just had to keep the investigation alive. And so long as they had a complicit press, and so long as they had people in this very body who has been here, one of the gentlemen who has been here much of the day, who would go on TV every night and lie about the smoking gun, they could further their personal and political agendas.
All right, look, let's take this back to the beginning of the Trump era. Let's take it back to Trump. Everything is not about Trump, but some things are. And I think that one of the fundamental things about his presidency, about this entire world that we've been living in that seems to be perpetually 2015 and 2016 for going on the past decade right now, is that when Trump got into office, it pretty much exposed all of the corruption, all of the filth, all of the just yuckiness that is these three-letter federal agencies. You can use the FBI, you want to use the DOJ, you want to use the CIA, you want to use whatever you want to use. It has really exposed how absolutely corrupt these three-letter organizations are. These three-letter organizations are completely corrupted. The vast majority of the American public does not trust them because, look, and this is what Hageman, that was a GOP rep Hageman right there, what she was really basically saying boils down to this. If you are a thinking person in this country who is independent-minded, right, you're not a zombie for left, you're not a zombie for right. If you just kind of like take the facts as you see them, you would realize that what was done to Donald Trump and what has been proven fact about the FBI colluding with high-level Democrats and all these different things that sort of spy on Trump and all of this other stuff. So we know that these things have happened. We literally know that, like, the reporting has borne these facts out. These are not right-wing conspiracy theories. We know these things to be the absolute truth. Then that would lead the normal thinking person to believe that these three-letter agencies are hopelessly corrupt. Now, I understand that abolish the FBI and all that stuff has become kind of a talking point in more right-leaning circles. I don't necessarily know if I would go that far, but I would say that these are three-letter agencies that are very, very, very ready for some good old spring cleaning that seems to be about 50 or 60 years past due.